And this time around, our quote of the week comes from the one, the only, the legend herself, the biggest ally of the LGBTQ plus community that's out there and has been for decades, Dolly Parton. I love me some Dolly. And this time around, the quote is from her, as I said, and it is this: we cannot direct the wind, but we can adjust the sails. We cannot direct the wind, but we can adjust the sails. I love that. I often put it another way, a similar sentiment in the form of, control the things you can control. You've listened to episodes of the show before. You've heard me say that, I'm sure. Well, this is a different way of putting that, a more poetic way to put it, a very Dolly way to put it, right? We cannot direct the wind, but we can adjust the sails. That means that, there are things that are out of our control. But how do we respond to those things, and or how do we prepare for those things? Because if you got to know how to operate the sails first, right, before you go out into the potential storm out on the ocean in your sailboat. So, you've got to know how to make the adjustments as you go along. But you got to know how the sails work. You got to know the fundamentals. So that's what I love to do, is sort of take people along and teach the fundamentals and give them the tools that they need to work alongside me to help make their financial situation better, no matter what happens, no matter what storm comes. We can adjust those sails and go along with whatever is happening, whether it's, a huge bull run in the market or whether it is an economic downturn. We're not going to go directly with those winds toward that downturn, but we're going to take those sails and help point your boat in a direction that is going to lead to some protection, some positivity, some, really, some protection really is the big word there. And I already said it, but protection from that downturn, because that is the goal, is to provide some protection and still get substantial growth in your retirement accounts and in your plan so that you are all set when it gets to retirement. Now, of course, there are very few guarantees in life. There are zero guarantees when it comes to investing in the stock market and things like that, which is why we take part of your portfolio and we put it into a protected sort of vehicle, right? A vehicle with some guarantees. And something like an annuity does have guarantees. And it's usually a part of our retirement plans that we put together, myself and the team at Active Wealth Management. That's my local firm that I'm affiliated with in the Atlanta metro area. But of course, if you are somewhere else in the world, I'd be glad to work with you as well. But it's usually a part of those plans that we put together for our clients, unless it's a particular scenario where they, are already set up with a sizable pension or something like that, where they won't necessarily need an income through a personal pension, which is another way to think about an annuity, right? It's essentially a personal pension.